Morning. I had a few thoughts on my way into work this morning that I'd like to share with whoever else needs to hear it today. I'm going to start by categorizing people, society, into three groups just for the purpose of this video. Obviously, you could group people all kinds of different ways, but for the purposes of this message, I want to break down into leaders, followers, and critics. Leaders are the people that provide the strategic direction, that make decisions, that provide guidance, and that lead followers. Followers are such a critically important piece of the equation because without followers, the leaders don't have a job. If you're leading and nobody's following, then you're just out taking a walk, as John Maxwell said. And then, of course, there's the critics, and for the purposes of this discussion, they have very little value at all. These are the people that sit around and criticize what the leaders are doing while they're trying to do their job, and sometimes even what the followers are doing while they're trying to do theirs. For the purpose of this discussion, I want to especially focus on leaders and the cost of leadership. Because the reality of the situation is, while most people think that the title is sexy, and certainly I am guilty of, in fact, calling everyone leaders, because I do believe that we are all leaders of something and that leadership development is important to all. But for the purposes of this discussion, I mean leaders with specific missions and large groups of people that rely on them. And again, even as I said that, I thought that, you know what, that is really, really true of you and your family, even if you're not a leader in an organizational sense. So perhaps this message really applies to many, many more people than I'm even considering. But what I want to talk about is the cost of leadership. And the cost of leadership is this: if you are the leader of groups of people, then the chances are that you're working harder than ever. At times when, sometimes the right thing for a follower to do is to relax, take some time off, be with their family, and wait to see what happens next. The leader very often doesn't have that luxury, and we don't have that luxury for the same reason. It was true back when I was a military officer, and it's been true in all my time as a business leader, as a leader of an organization in small business in America. And it's the truth no matter what, and that is mission first and people always. So at times like this, at times of contingency, when the going gets hard, the leader is probably working harder. The leader should be working harder and more hours than ever, because the mission cannot fail and our people cannot suffer. Mission first and people always. It's an adage that I learned as a young military officer all those decades ago, and has served me well through my entire life and is still true today. And I'm sharing the message today. What I'm trying to say is, I know that there's lots of other small business leaders out there that are leading, and sometimes even feeling guilty. Sometimes feeling, should we be working this hard? Should we be home with the family? Sometimes maybe even think something's wrong with you, right? Think that maybe that title of workaholic that can be given by some critics. But the reality is that we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to make sure that the mission still happens, and we have a responsibility to take care of our people. That's what leadership is all about. When contingency happens, then contingency planning comes into play, which means to say that the concept of the operation may change, but the mission cannot. We still have to accomplish our mission. Our mission at Krav Maga Martial Arts is and always has been empowering lives through the martial arts. It has been since October of 2000. Just because everything's changed doesn't mean that changes. And my personal mission through this whole trial is still taking care of my team. I have the best team of instructors that I ever have had and ever could want. And I have a responsibility to take care of them through this. Just like all of us, that team and I have a responsibility of taking care of all of our students. So shout out to my fellow leaders is really what the note that I had here for closing. Do not feel guilty. Do not feel weary. Do not feel tired. Be energized, be motivated, be inspired, be alert, be active, take charge. By doing so, Great leadership creates opportunity in times of crisis. So stay focused on your mission, stay committed to your people, and stay working hard. Let the critics critic and let the followers follow. Do what we do and lead.